For those of you who don't know me, my name is Edwin and I am part of the Hitchin Fellowship. I want to share with you something that happened to me when I was in my mid-teens, living in Aylesbury. I went out one Friday evening, not on my own, but with a whole minibus and carload of people, I think about 16 or 17 of us. It was summer and we had decided to go out for a walk. Aylesbury is situated in a vale with lots of hills all around it. We decided to go to Bradenham, a small village on the way to High Wycombe. We stopped at the bottom of the hill and parked by a small cricket pitch. Looking up, we could see a small main road that led up the hill, but also a whole area of trees, thick woods. Most people started to walk together where we had parked, but I teamed up with another boy a few years younger than myself and we decided to go our own way. The weather was good, and so we decided, why not walk up to the top of the hill through the woods? We knew that at the top was the Royal Air Force Strike Command. We had often seen the road signs but never actually been there. In the woods there were lots of small pathways, trails that led up, so we quickly made our way up. We were young and energetic. We could see other people, not part of our group, also walking up the hill in the woods, but on different trails. We were quite competitive and wanted to get there quickly. And as we climbed, we could see the sun streaming through the trees and hear other voices. It took a while, but eventually we got to the top, and there it was, RAF Strike Command. We decided to wander around for a while, looking at the large sign and some of the buildings at this Air Force base. Then it was time to go back. Let's take a different path down, we said to each other. After all, we had already seen what was on that path, and we knew that all the paths ran parallel to each other. So, confidently, we strode down. I can't remember if we saw anything different on the trail, but it was a different path. We'll soon be at the bottom, we said to each other confidently. By now, the sun had started to go down and it was getting a little gloomy. We didn't have a torch and mobile phones hadn't been invented yet. We were starting to get a bit uneasy. It was taking much longer to get down than it took us to go up. We didn't hear any voices this time or see anyone else on the trail. What we hadn't realised was that even though the paths had seemed to us to be parallel and all met at the top, they were actually taking us in a different direction. The further we went down, the further away from the car park we were going. The light was fading fast now. We came out, but not where we had expected. This was an unfamiliar road. But good news! There was a signpost. To our horror, the sign said we were just a few miles away from High Wycombe, and it dawned on us we were headed in completely the wrong direction, and even worse, it was getting dark now. What about the others? How would they know where we were? Would they drive off without us? We were well and truly panicked. I can't speak for the other boy, but I just called out to Yeshua to help us. We were lost, alone, and going in the wrong direction. We turned around and started running back up that path, that trail we had just come down, and it was getting darker and darker. Finally, we arrived back at RAF Strike Command, and we quickly followed the main road down the hill, running as fast as we could. It was almost completely pitch black. No street lights. Had anyone waited for us? Would anyone be there? The road was windy and narrow, and as we came round the final bend, we saw that the minibus was no longer there. More panic. As we got closer, we saw that the car was still there and a couple of adults by it. How relieved we were. We were safe. That evening made a great impression on me, and I have never forgotten it. We had been going on the wrong path, one which had been leading us away from our destination, the place where we needed to be. In desperation, I had called out to the only person who I knew could help me, my Saviour, Yeshua. And he did. He brought me back safely to the place where I needed to be. Over the years, I have seen many others take a wrong path, go in a wrong direction, and find themselves in a wrong place. But I want to encourage you today. There is someone who can help you find the right path, someone who can bring you back, someone who can bring you to a place of safety and security. I'm reminded of the account of the lost son found in Luke chapter 15, verses 11 to 32. The son had deliberately gone off to do his own thing, taken the wrong path, and had to endure the consequences. But it says that eventually he came to his senses and determined that he would return to his father at his father's place. Unknown to him, his father had been constantly looking out for him, and when his father saw him, his father was filled with compassion, threw his arms around him and hugged and kissed him. Yahweh doesn't hold the bad choices we have made against us. He is ready to welcome us back. He wants us to return to his place of safety. Just as adults were waiting for me to come back, so Yahweh is waiting for you to keep you safe and secure as you choose the right path and the right destination for your life. Don't be alone. Stay with those who are like-minded, who will help and encourage you.